And what's your name, stanky girl?
Mary.
Oh. And what's your name?
Steph.
Well, this is a dedication to Stanky Mary and Stanky Steph. Ooh, ooh, wee, you're just as stanky as can be.
Can somebody open up the window?
Hey, Ronald.
Oh, shit.
Welcome to Something Crunchy. Tyler is homies with Blake. Blake is the older bro of Blair. Blair is married to Tyler and is a slutty slut.
Welcome to Something Crunchy.
What the hell is crunchy?
Welcome to Something Crunchy.
Welcome to another special edition episode of Something Crunchy. I'm Cullen Blake. With me, as always, Blair and Tyler Dressel. We have another very crunchy guest joining us tonight. He's an actor, writer, and producer who you've seen in shows like Dave, The Wire, and AP Bio. Please welcome Jarvis George.
More, give us more, give us more.
So glad to have you on, Mr. Jarvis. How are you, sir?
Yeah, man, I'm great, man. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, good to have you. We are big fans of your work. Glad to have you on. How's your summer been?
Hot. Hot. And I know it's like such a trite, cliched answer, but I'm in LA, and we typically have the hot weather during the summer, but like the rest of the world, we got this fucking heat wave that is going on, and you literally have jumped in the oven and just closed the door. Said fuck it.
It's true. And it's hot everywhere. You're right, but you called in to Phoenix tonight.
Yeah, Phoenix native here.
Yeah, this is the
Talk about
fiery pits of hell.
Wow.
So you guys were like, okay, hold my beer. Stop all that goddamn complaining.
Our microphones are melting in front of us.
Right.
Well, you have been a part of some great projects, and it was Dave I've seen you in most recently. This is one of our favorite comedies right now, and the season 1 finale was an extremely memorable episode.
Yes.
Yes, it was. What did you know about the show before shooting, and did you have any idea what to expect?
I didn't know anything about Dave. Typical actor shit. You get the call, and you audition and stuff. I didn't know Dave was Lil Dicky when I first showed up on set, which in the hip hop world, you sound like the old dude.
Right.
When you say some, I'm old school, golden age hip hop. So, I'm Wu-Tang. So I had seen his YouTube videos, and like the one where he's trying to shoot a music video and he's knocking on people's doors and shit. But I actually saw him earlier on Sway in the Morning, and he caught my eye in the way that he probably catches most people's eyes. It was like this white dude who has like crazy flow, like
he can spit
and who can real spit, like the old school way where it's like DJ is like, I'm just gonna throw out a track,
right?
And you better keep up. And Dave was like crushing it. And so when I knew Lil Dicky from that. When I showed up, they were like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna be on with this guy Dave, and it's about a white guy. He's just on the cusp of internet stardom. Like he's not influencer famous yet, according to the show. He was like, he's on the cusp of that. So I was like, oh, so he's still in the fucking basement. He ain't doing shit. And then I show up and I see him and I go, Lil Dicky's guest starring? And they're like, no, dude, that's Dave. Like, I need for you to connect the dots. I was like, oh, well, shit, okay.
Lil Dicky is Dave.
Lil Dicky is Dave.
I would have done the same exact thing.
Yeah, it's totally his, alter ego. He runs in the phone booth and comes out and he's like, da 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 da.
Lil D.
Lil D. And it was wonderful. It was wonderful. And of course, actors say that all the time. They go, oh my God, it was the greatest episode I'd have been on. I've never fucking done anything like that in my life. And, it really was. Like he comes up to me, he daps me up. He was like, hey man, thank you for, great to have you and stuff like that. And I was actually only supposed to do one episode at first. That was just, I was booked for that. and he goes, the way we're writing it, he's just funny. He goes, yeah, the writing for this other episode, it wasn't great because I wrote it. It fucking sucked. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna shoot this shit too, and we want you to come and do this with us, but it's gonna be improv. You good? And I was like, hell yeah. Some actors you say that to, and it's like, oh my God, because you feel like you're gonna wet the bed. Some of the great improv comedic actors, you start thinking about that.
Right.
Yes.
Oh my God, it's Jim Carrey, or oh my God, it's Vince Vaughn, or people like that, Eddie Murphy. But then I was like, yeah, let's roll. And we just started vibing, all of us, me, him, Santino, all the other actors in the scene, and it was great.
Which
and then we all
that was improv?
The first episode. So the first episode where I show up, where we're at his first meeting with the record executives.
Yep.
Yes.
My section was all improv with him. He was scripted with everybody else, but then because we were all improving, we were all free flowing off of each other and following a loose framework of what was scripted. But that scene, I've seen a lot of male horrors and all that craziness. But it was a really cool experience, and I loved it. Like, I'm usually not the comedy guy. People, I'm the guy that shows up, that somebody got shot, and I gotta hold a flashlight and say, yeah, a couple of those. I'm the authoritative, it looks like it's a 187, Jim. What do you think about that? Yeah.
And everyone knows his shtick. He obviously looks very out of place, but sounds really good.
Yeah.
What did you think of his acting chops? Does he have what it takes?
He definitely does. And that's the beauty of a show like Dave. People think that they see somebody acting in a television show or a movie, and that character's supposed to be them, that they're not acting, that there's no skill or craft involved. And it's actually quite the opposite. It's oddly enough, it's harder to be yourself in a project than to be somebody different.
I can believe that.
And that sounds so counterintuitive, but it's just, I don't know, it's just the way human beings are fucking wired. That's what we do.
Yeah.
No, it's true. And you're right, this is definitely different from other shows. And I can appreciate a show that puts hyper focus on dick jokes, but can also have really touching moments. It tugs at your peen and your heart.
It does.
Yes. The milking bed joke. The milking bed.
I love that. I love that. That was funny as hell.
That's Blair and my favorite episode.
It is.
Oh.
They're
I'm
able to relate to that.
The milking bed. Oh, so you guys have the milking bed, right?
I'm sure. I don't want to know about
that. It's the Christmas gift. What do you want for Christmas?
40th birthday. But Blake is my brother-in-law, and we can't talk about that.
I can't look at my brother-in-law discussing milking tables.
You have to go in the cone of silence for a little bit.
Yeah, we do. Fortress of Solitude and silence.
But yeah, we have one.
Of course. But and that's the beauty of what he does is he's like, I'm mining my life for this comedy, where we've all seen people do variations of that, but they usually don't do the warts part of it.
Sure.
They say, oh, I'm doing me. Yeah, but they don't show you the behind closed doors, like, I'm jerking off, and I can't jerk off until it's a picture of Kanye. I'm having sex with my lady, and it's until I see Kanye.
I forgot about that.
Because that makes me bust. It's hysterical, and it's so weird.
Something about its brutal honesty that
brutal
is
honesty.
Attractive. Yeah, just something about that.
The gag with the blow up doll.
Yeah, I remember that
he hid, and his girl finds it. And the shame on his face, but at the same time, he goes, "That's what I do." Like,
right?
What do you want?
What do you want from me?
What?
Yeah.
And I thought we were being vulnerable here.
Yeah, and that's the thing, totally vulnerable. And then the touching part is, this is who I am because of my penis with 2 holes.
Right.
My shameful, my deformed penis with 2 holes.
His poor dysplasia. Oh.
Yeah. And then even more so, not just Dave, but the just the stark reality and vulnerability of other characters on the show, like Gator. The episode with Gator and
so
Gata's my favorite character on the show.
How do you not love Gata? Are you kidding?
And that season 2 finale, man, that got me.
If that didn't get you, then I just don't understand you.
Yeah, you're dead inside.
Yeah,
you're dead
I
inside.
don't understand
There's
you
something
as a
wrong with you.
person.
Absolutely.
His episodes are so anxiety stricken, though. Like when they're focused on Gata, I my heart is beating out of my chest.
But it's so real.
It is. Like I
so
feel for the guy,
real.
and I'm always pulling for him, but I'm always worried about him.
He's if this wasn't hip hop, if this wasn't like in the hip hop world, that character would have been the George Costanza. It would have been the hyper neurotic.
Wow.
I'm freaking out at everything.
Man,
it's shrinking. It's shrinking.
You're right.
But all of that is in this uber masculine, I'm too cool for school, shit doesn't faze me world of celebrity, by extension, then hip hop. Like there's all these check downs of every thing that they're involved in where their humanity is an X. You can't do that, can't say that, you can't be that, you can't be you can't have you can't have mental issues, you can't be afraid, you can't jerk off, you can't do this and that, and if you do, you got to say it in a rap in such a way so that you fucked 15 women afterwards to cover up for the fact that you said that.
Spot on.
You have erectile dysfunction, like whatever, all of these things. And I remember watching the pilot. There was a screening and we all came to watch the pilot. And in our episodes, Gator wasn't there. So I didn't know him. I didn't know anything about him. And then I watched it and I went up to him afterwards and I still think it's a travesty. I was like, bro, you're going to get talked about for an Emmy.
Yeah.
Like this is
he should have been.
Agree.
We should be talking about you for an Emmy. And he was just like, thank you, brother. Thank you. And I'm like, and I know everybody's going to come to you doing the Hollywood spiel of, oh my God. I mean, that's just, sometimes you do say things that while it might be a cliche, it also happens to be the truth. And that's what I'm telling you right now. And everyone I've ever talked to who watches the show, you guys, people who have, online, social media, but even in the trades, talk about Gata in the same sentence with Dave, with Lil Dicky, about their work on the show and their honesty and revealing parts of humanity in a world that oftentimes acts like it doesn't exist. That's right. Everything is a fantasy. So
we needed that character so
needed
bad.
That.
The honesty you're talking about is a big reason for the success.
Well
and you had to play more the straight man in those scenes so that they could be themselves and be kind of wild.
Over the top.
Yeah, we need more characters like Ronald from AP Bio.
That's right.
That was the Jarvis we need.
Yes. That man, let me tell you, some Color Me Bad comes on, I'm your guy. Color Me Bad comes on, I will sit down and because I can't sing for shit. I can't hold a goddamn note. But I will lip sync and air guitar the shit out of a song. You were like, oh my God, he's amazing. He's amazing. Give him a Grammy right now.
Air guitar. See, I gravitate more to the air drums. I consider myself more of an air drummer. I take it pretty seriously.
Very seriously.
I'm an air guitarist as well, so I understand the craft.
She's an air rhythm guitarist. It's not the same.
Blake's been caught in traffic air drumming to like.
He's actually been
a crowd
pulled
of
over.
nowhere.
I've been pulled over for air drumming.
Yes, that's right.
So when you do it, do you just air drum everything, or do you have certain things that that's your symbol? That's always your symbol.
Oh, I have.
That's it.
Full dashboard.
He's got a 22-piece set.
It's a very, very specific setup. I've had to rearrange it a couple times, but for the last several years, it has been very consistent.
He's dialed in.
Yeah, I know where everything is.
I'm gonna date myself a little bit, but I would do like your boy from Def Leppard. the drummer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would always have that one moment where you do the stick twirl. You do the drumstick
Of
twirl, and
course.
when you hit it, and then you come up and you just roll your fingers like fucking right, bitches. Do you see all this? Dun, dun, dun.
If you're not twirling,
Yeah.
you're not air drumming, right?
Yeah.
You're not.
If you're not
You're a
pointing
poser.
at people
You're a
next to
poser.
you, you're not doing it.
I just
right.
felt that so much. Like I was literally just twisting at my fingers right now. I'm like so with you.
That's the thing you got to do. And if you do that with air drumming, with air guitaring, it has to be a giant phallic symbol.
Yeah.
They're like, that's if you're not impregnating someone in the back of the auditorium, then you're not fucking doing it. You're so not doing it right.
It's just not done right.
It's just not done. Like you're with a ukulele. That's what you do. Go do the air ukulele. Go
You could
stand
do
over in the
better than
corner. But yeah, AP Bio was another one that was sort of a great comedy experience. And those guys, a lot of the guys on that show are writers for the show.
Oh,
So
So good.
yeah. So while we're doing our thing, they're coming up with stuff on the spot to try and all that other stuff. And it was a funny story about that. I had auditioned for it before the pandemic, like the day before everything
Oh, wow.
went quarantine. And God, we talk about the pandemic like disaster, like dystopian end of the world movies. You know, back before the collapse,
Before the ice storm.
before the ice storm, AE after Earth. You know, back when we bathed and we actually could breathe the air.
BC.
BC,
Before COVID.
before COVID, right?
BC before COVID.
Blair, you're a genius.
Well done.
Coin that shit now.
Once
Blair,
a season,
pack your
Blair
bags,
has her
come to
moment.
Hollywood.
Yeah, Blair's
you made it,
invited.
Blair. All right.
Love it.
But yeah, I had auditioned for like the day before there was the quarantine, and then I never heard anything. And in the acting world, that's your telltale sign. You think, okay, I did my thing. I didn't get the job. You move on to the next audition. And a year or so went by, and I saw that the season that episode was supposed to be in was going to air on Peacock. So I really went, I really didn't get the fucking job then. Oh, okay.
Oh, man.
And then I get a call as things are opening up again. As you know, the rules are being like not released, but you're end of school, go outside, you can go play now.
Regulations lifted and
Regulations lifted,
Yeah.
right? I get a call from my manager, and he's like, "Oh, yo, you booked AP Bio, dude." And I was like, and I literally was like, "When did I fucking audition for AP Bio?"
What's AP Bio?
What was that again?
Yeah, right.
I did that? Cool.
Right. And he's like, "Yeah, you remember we auditioned for it, you did this a long time." I was like, "Oh shit, yeah." And then I show up and they went, "Yeah, you booked it then. But COVID hit and it threw as with the rest of the world, it threw everything for a loop.
Yeah.
And scheduling changed with when they wanted to do that episode. And so they kicked it to the next season. Excuse me. They really liked that storyline, but they didn't, it's like, okay, COVID, we're going to go with everything is Zooming sort of deal. At first, they didn't know what they were going to do,
Film what they
like
could
everybody
film
else,
at the time.
what they could film. So the stuff that they had already mapped out and already written, they kicked it to the next season. But I had booked the show and nobody fucking told me. Like,
Can someone just tell me that I booked it?
yeah, it felt
Oh,
like
that's funny.
I would have moved
Yeah,
6 months ago. God damn, what the fuck, people?
Somebody throw me a freaking bone. Somebody just
A
tell me
balloon or
a
something?
balloon. So, and when I showed up on set, we were hanging out, and then they started to tell the story, and I go, "Yeah, nobody told you," and I just looked, and they're like, "Oh man, that's fucked up,
Yeah,
dude."
someone owes you a phone call.
A fruit basket or something.
Something.
Yeah, so
Oh,
that was cool, but that was a really, really fun experience, and I was so into the fake jewelry and the And I kept asking him, can I unbutton another button to open my shirt up to let all the taco meat out? You know,
Yes.
Let the hamburger fly, bro.
Let it
Singing to the
hang.
girls on the
Let it hang,
iPads
baby.
got me.
We
And,
want it.
Funny.
they were, and there's stuff that got cut, you know, for the sake of time,
I'm
like
sure.
shows that in situations like that, I like to use everyone. So people who are like extras, I'm like doing stuff with them, and I'd always check in. You know, we live in a world today where you got to make sure shit's okay. So it's like always just check in with people and just go, yo, you cool? You good? I'm doing whatever. And they're like, oh yeah. But you know, a lot of them were appreciative. Thank you. Like,
Yeah.
we're not just meat or mannequins here that you can just do whatever you want to because you're on the call sheet and we're not. I always like to check in with my fellow actors, whether or not they are on the call sheet or they're extras. I've been there.
And
That's
those,
so cool.
those are people that desperately want to be involved. No one aspires to be an extra and
No.
stay an
Hell
extra.
no.
That's supposed to be a stepping stone, an entry into, you know, get some exposure. That's really
Yeah.
cool you do that.
Yeah,
I
that's
know, that
awesome.
is
Keep
cool.
doing that. Like
Yeah.
those people will really appreciate
Yeah,
that.
should have more of that.
Yeah, I
People
appreciate
remember
that, man.
that.
Totally.
Anything can happen. It's like a moment could happen and a director or producer goes, I like that shit. And then they get a bump. They've now gone from an extra to a speaking line, and then they can get paid or, you know, join the union or whatever. They get tape. It's like, you know, just make it a real artistic or creative experience as well as possible. And make sure you try and look out for somebody on the way.
Man, that's good advice for
Fucking awesome.
actors and non-actors.
I know, just like all people need to take notes, please.
Yeah, each one teach one.
Yeah.
Take somebody with you.
You've
Blair,
done
I'm telling you, you're gonna write some shit. You know what I'm
You
telling
know I'm here for you, Jarvis.
Bla-
Yes,
talented.
please.
Blair's got it. She's got the stuff. And you've done a fair amount of both. Which do you enjoy more, the comedic roles or the dramatic roles?
That's a really great question. I'd be lying if I said I didn't have a choice. I just want to act.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
because the thing about they each have their ups and downs. For me, it's more so about the project and the goal of the project versus doing comedy or doing drama.
Sure.
Okay.
I know, you know what I'm saying? I have a lot of actor heroes and friends who are like, I only like to do drama because I'm serious actor. I like to have something to say.
Sure.
And I'm like, yeah, Mel Brooks had a lot to say too. You telling me
right.
he doesn't count, you know, or Eddie Murphy or all these people.
Great example, too.
Yeah.
Mel Brooks, Martin Lawrence, there's a lot of...
I
They
mean,
do a lot of
say.
comedy, have a lot to say.
Richard Pryor.
They have a lot to say,
Yeah,
you
Richard
know.
Pryor just only gets to
George Carlin.
touch the tip.
George Carlin, I still quote his bit about where he says the more syllables we add to a thing is our way of softening it, like trying to bullshit our way through it. And I obviously butcher it and paraphrase it, but then he was like, "You remember when you used to be in war and it was shell shock?
Yeah.
You know, shell shock." He was like, "It was 2 syllables. You felt that shit. You knew you were fucked up." And now he was like, it's post-traumatic stress disorder. He was like, it's 8 syllables, man. I don't know what. He was like, it's some shit you catch on your feet. And I love that kind of biting wit comedy
Yeah.
that is not, he's totally not making fun of anyone who has it or the condition. He's talking about the way we use language to cover things, to obfuscate a truth, you know. And since I'm a big language person, a big language guy as an actor, that kind of comedy really, really speaks to me. People
Yeah.
like him and that sort of thing. But for me, it's just as palpable as watching Brian Cox or Denzel or Kenneth Branagh or Frances McDormand or Meryl Streep tear up a dramatic scene that you go, God damn it, I watch you do the fucking phone book, motherfucker. Your shit is just, holy shit, you're amazing. It's just as palpable. But for me, it's the project, because sometimes drama for drama's sake doesn't say anything, doesn't elucidate anything. Just because you cried and just because you had a mean look on your face, who gives a fuck? Like,
True. Like,
what do you?
what's the message?
Was it like that? That's the basis of soaps.
Yeah.
we're just emotional and dramatic.
crying.
We're just crying, and my mom watches her stories. So okay, cool. Go sell some dishwashers and shit. And then there are comedies that, yes, they do things where you should laugh, but there's no. And again, this is me. I like an intelligence behind it. Even in the stupidest stuff, there needs to be an intelligence behind it.
Yeah.
So you can get down with the Farrelly brothers, or like you said, Martin Lawrence, or Eddie Murphy, or Mel Brooks. But if for me, if a comedic project is, oh man, wouldn't it just be funny if they went on a road trip and everybody was farting in the car, the windows were rolled up, and it just like, okay.
The fat guy runs into the wall and falls down.
Stupid
Right.
humor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The stupid humor
Same way.
that is good once,
Yeah, it is
maybe
good ones.
twice.
Yeah, it's true.
90 minutes. Okay, that's 90 minutes that I'm real. Now you've insulted me, because now I'm complicit in your bullshit for 90
Now I'm
minutes.
upset.
Unless you're a
Now I'm
genius and
upset.
you've really put your finger on the things that have never been done before, and if you can put 90 minutes together, that's the next Dumb and Dumber.
And I was about to say, Dumb and Dumber, there's always that outlier that I went, holy shit, that's great. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But they're still into like behind even the dumb parts of it, like which makes it what it is.
Well, that's when you get into like Family Guy, Simpsons writing, where one scene could be just stupid as hell, but there's also like really good writing behind it, or in the next scene,
Right.
like, sequence.
Totally.
Some
Totally.
redeem themselves.
And even a guy like Seth MacFarlane, he's a genius. He's a genius, because when he does these stupid jokes or these bits, for him to know that bit of pop culture or that bit of science in order to make that stupid joke, he has to know that first.
That's right.
You got to be so
and
plugged
then
in.
so plugged in, and then write that joke. So it's not just about being a geek. I got to know that science theory. I got to know string theory. I got to know physics. I got to know all this shit in order to do the stupid fart joke. The Peter falling out of something repeatedly on his face. Oh my God, Peter, why are you doing that? I'm stuck in a quantum, feedback loop. He didn't just pull it out of his ass. And that's the brilliance of that sort of comedy. So I can get behind that stuff. But if they're, maybe it's just, I also like a true commitment to your craft. I watch stand up, and I'm always drawn to the stand up comedians where there's a bit, there's actual content. If you're just a funny guy or a funny woman and you can just say some shit and have some timing, that's good for a little bit. That's you'll make people laugh for a little bit, but we want to have, you constructed something. You actually constructed set.
You made a show.
You made a show. You made a show. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, you're just open mic night.
Yeah.
And you just have a really funny voice, or you might not even be funny. You might be funny looking. So anything anything you say,
or crowd work,
people laugh at.
Crowd work is cool, but original bits and original comedy weighs a lot heavier.
Man, that's when you see a lot of actors who are like, I'm a comedic actor. Yeah, but you're not a comedian. You're not a stand-up comedian. And you get your ass handed to you when you show up.
Different ball game.
Different ball game.
Real comedians don't take, celebrities that just step on stage to use their power, their celebrity, reach to further their career. it's a craft that takes a long time. It's
a long time.
20-year craft to turn into a real touring comedian. That's not.
It really pisses me off when you get someone who's just given a Netflix special. Adam Devine is the perfect example of that. Really funny guy, funny on shows. He's hilarious. That's one of the worst stand-ups I've ever seen.
Different ball game.
Ever.
Different ball game.
Just
And you know what the worst part about that is? The you remember that old Dave Chappelle bit when it's like, gotcha, bitch.
Yeah.
I got your money.
Yeah, that was a fucking money grab and a half right there.
it was.
Gotcha.
There's another comedian that could have had that Netflix special that would have been really more deserving of it, but they made it for a reason.
They're not going to get it.
They're not going to get it. I'm sure he got his, but he won't get another one because it wasn't very good.
Right.
Yeah, that's why I liked a lot of these networks like Comedy Central and stuff, and started doing these sometimes half hour, but like 45-minute specials of the journeyman kind of comedian, that the people who are really fucking good, but they're just on the circuit. They haven't had a TV show. They're not in a movie. They're the people you should know, but you don't know because that magic moment hasn't happened.
Right.
You know.
That's true. Those are the best comedians to support,
I
too.
know. Love that.
Yeah,
They put in
man.
the work. They deserve to be there. You just haven't heard them yet.
Yeah, and it's not like look, I could go down this rabbit hole forever, but
Us too.
you know, it's not like dinner theater. You know, dinner theater kind of acting is when people are like, you know, I always had a hobby, and it's my secret passion. But they're like, I'm not trying to get paid for this shit. I'm not doing that. You know, I got a job at IBM or, you know, whatever. I'm good. I work. I get my commas and zeros. I'm not going out there fucking starving. But people seem to look at comedians in that way. If I haven't seen you on a stand-up special or in a movie, you know, you ain't shit. And I'm like, that's not true. These people are like driving and flying all over the country. You know, I have a friend right now who she's been on the Tonight Show. She's been doing it for 20 years. She's just now getting on, you know,
sometimes Netflix
specials and what have you. And she has a joke. I don't know if it's an actual one of her jokes. I shouldn't tell her material. No, you know what? Fuck it. She put that shit on Twitter.
Yeah. Air it out.
Right. And she basically just said, holy shit, I have reached that status where I can set and forget my bills. Like auto pay. She's like, holy shit, this is how the other half lives. Like this is
It's a big day.
It's a big day.
Yeah.
And we were crying, laughing over that because that's real shit. I went through that period of being, you know, panicked. Did the bill go through? Constantly checking my account. Do I have enough? Oh my God, it's gonna bounce. And my wife was like, what's wrong with you? Why don't you check your ledger? I do, but then the automatic computer tells me I didn't have enough money, but I really did because it's in holding, and my rent is gonna bounce. And she was like, "You're an asshole. You really need to like manage your situation better." I truly think, one of the cornerstones of our marriage was auto pay.
It is
Me not
extremely
freaking
helpful
out.
in a marriage.
Yes, it is.
There's a lot of things extremely helpful in marriage, and one of them is not to be the asshole. Whatever facilitates that, you do it.
That's good advice. How I'm gonna remember that.
I'm telling you, man, get that shit tattooed on your forehead every time you look in the mirror. Don't be in it, but you gotta get it backwards so that when you look in the mirror, it's clear.
Good thing you're not that much of an asshole.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
I appreciate you for that.
You had mentioned some really big names earlier, Brian Cox and Denzel. Are there any favorite actors of yours or influences you could point to and just say, that's why I wanted to become an actor?
Oh, hells yeah. Oh man. But people like Lawrence Fishburne, people obviously Denzel.
Yeah.
But when I was younger, you couldn't tell me shit. I just knew I was going to be the next Fishburne. That's what I wanted. I loved everything about him. Even Cowboy Curtis on Pee-wee's Playhouse. I was like, goddamn right.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking
Oh,
about
yeah.
too. And that was just resurrected in like a meme a few weeks ago. It's like, oh my god, that was him. Holy
I'm almost
shit.
41, baby. I know Cowboy.
Yeah.
Cowboy
Jerry
Kirk is
Curler.
right.
Oh.
That's right.
Love Lawrence,
Lawrence Fishburne. Yeah,
so
that's a good
much.
answer. That's like a good fucking actor.
But him, Chiwetel Ejiofor,
Mhm.
Tom Hardy, Morgan Freeman, Gene Hackman,
Gene.
Yeah.
Morgan Freeman, of course.
Sigourney Weaver, and Gina Davis.
Yeah.
Classics.
And even for me, like I'm drawn to, because I read a lot of interviews. I watch a lot of interviews, which is funny. I do the interviews. I don't do Q&As so much. I don't like going to Q&As because I always feel like in an interview, I can get so much more. I can get fed so much more. Q&As after like a certain movie or on a press junket always feel like the emissary. Like there's the representative. You know, oh my God! Well, you know, when we did this, it was 30 below, and I dug deep in my bag of tricks, and this is where that is where I came up with this character, and it was like
How much
what?
of that do you bullshit? How much of that is like made up on the spot?
I'm sure most people bullshit. Half of the
A lot of it is bullshit. A lot of it is bullshit, and that's a very. There are going to be people who are going at me. They're going to come at me in social media, whatever else. But it's just part of it is human nature, because you got to think you're seeing one interview, or pieces of press junket. They have to regurgitate that for 40 people, and that's like physical. Then there's the online portion of the junket. There's the people who just stick a recorder in their face as they're walking through the hallway. You know, some of that stuff is because they're good sound bites. They're the good story that you tell when you get on. You know, you gotta have a good snappy story when you get on Tonight Show. When you're there with Jimmy, or you're on, you know, whatever. What's the one on ABC? Jimmy Kimmel. Fallon, all of Conan. You know, Colbert. You gotta have that good story, Colbert, for people to pay attention, justify staying up late to see you pontificate about being rich. Like, you got to have something that we still agree with you, even though I just saw you got paid $20 million. Like, tell me some shit that makes me feel like we're the same.
Something relatable.
Something relatable.
Mm-hmm.
But interviews, like our interview, you know, here is we're talking about some stuff, and usually those tend to, at least in my experience, they skew towards honest revelations that I go both as an individual and as craft that I can incorporate, that I can learn something from. And the reason I'm saying that is because people like Gina Davis and Sigourney Weaver have done work in such a male dominated field that the work is fucking top notch. But when you hear them talk about that outside of it, you learn so much more of the shit that they went through and what they had to go through. You know, Sandra Bullock, you ever listen to interviews with Sandra Bullock when she talks about fighting to get Miss Congeniality made the way she wanted it? Because she was like, they wanted a male love interest. And she was like, fuck that. This ain't about me chasing after some guy, you know?
Yeah, that's
it's going to be me. That's not the point of this. And so it gives you insight into that experience, and at the same time, their personality, who they are, what they stand for, what they're like. I'm doing that. I'm not doing that. Keeping it moving, instead of things that, for me, like you said, come out as self-aggrandizing bullshit. I'm wonderful. Look how great I am. I'm such an amazing fucking actor. So yeah, people like Gina Davis and Sandra Bullock and the like, and who else? And I like actors that are money no matter what they're in. And that's always like a Morgan Freeman.
Right.
He could be in the shittiest movie, and Morgan Freeman was going to be good.
Kills
So
it.
And-
good every single time.
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Every single time.
First to my
Philip Seymour
mind.
Hoffman. Yeah. Oh my God.
Great example.
In Boogie Nights, when he's holding the boom microphone, and the first time
Yep.
Marky Mark pulls his dick out and he sees it, and he's breathing deep.
Sweating, he's breathing all over it.
Yeah, we didn't have to. Not once in that entire movie do they have a conversation where they go, "You know he's gay, right?" You didn't have to fucking do that.
You didn't have to
Philip
do that.
didn't have to do that. Philip
No.
Seymour Hoffman says, "Watch this good shit."
So good.
He is such a
And
great
he does
example of there are no small parts.
No.
You look in the way he had to get there too, through the Twister and Boogie Nights roles.
After
and,
Twister, I thought like, oh, they're so nice. Twister, they
Yeah.
cast this man in this role, and he's doing so great. He's killing it. And I'm like, holy crap!
A great interview with a well-known casting director in Hollywood talking about Philip Seymour Hoffman when he died. She was recounting a story that she had tried to cast him in a movie early on in his career, and it would have put him on the map much earlier. And she admittedly was like, the role was not good. The role was not a good role.
One right.
Oh man.
And he said, thank you, but no thank you.
Yeah, he could see.
And that's unheard of. That's unheard of when you're a no name. You know,
Yeah.
when you're eating top ramen and somebody says, well, I'm going to pay you $50,000 for 2 weeks or 2 months worth of work. You're like, hell, fuck yeah, I'm
Yep.
come out here and I'm going to do it. And she was like, even then, and she was like, the talent wasn't the issue. She was like, he was so much more talented in that part. It was the confidence of self to know, yeah, if I do this, it's going to kill my career early on, but even more so, I'd hate myself because the role was shit.
Yeah, you got to have some
And-
real foresight.
Sometimes you got to pass on the opportunities that aren't best.
Man, when the rent is due, they come knocking on your door,
Right.
or your lights are
What's the job?
flickering.
Let's do it.
They're throttling your internet. You're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go out here and do this stuff, you know. But people like that. So, and even in those moments, again, your character.
Yeah.
Your character, your integrity, like that's what you gotta hang on to as much as you can, because there are going to be moments in life, as with your career, where you're gonna have to. There's gonna be a concession. There's gonna be a compromise. People think compromise is a dirty word. Compromise is just a fucking word. It just says, okay, you get some, I get some, and we're square. But what are you getting and what are you giving?
Right.
That's the question. And what can you live with after the fact? And some folks can do some things to get what they want. And hey, man, I hope they gave you enough commas and zeros.
Whatever helps you sleep at night.
Whatever helps you sleep at night. You know, we'll cover up all the mirrors in the house. So you don't have to look at yourself like a fucking vampire.
We always like asking this question. If you could walk onto the cast of any show that's currently running, what would it be?
One that's paying commas and zeros, man.
The one
Damn
that's paying the
job.
comms.
Well, now that we're talking this.
What's left?
I would say shows like right now, House of Dragons.
Yeah,
Oh,
good call.
House of Dragons.
yeah.
Have you seen the first few episodes?
I have.
Your thoughts?
I have. I am caught up. I'm digging it. I'm really liking it.
Me too.
I'm really liking it. I'm concerned the way I am for most shows that have a huge fandom, that it doesn't turn into fan service. You know, I think that's one of the worst things that ever happens to any sort of project, is when it purely becomes fan service. When the fans want this, the fans want this. And I'm like, yeah, most people will eat a shitty hamburger if you give it to them, because it's a hamburger and they say they want a hamburger. Let me give you some fucking, you know, Morton's Steakhouse, Ruth's
Filet.
Chris shit, some
Yes.
filet, you know, Wagyu. We massaged that fucker till we killed it.
Yes.
We sang Beethoven to that cow before we murdered it. There was nothing but love flowing through its
Yes.
muscles,
This
and you're gonna
Wagyu
get that
was
love.
only fed Kobe beef.
Exactly. Which was fed unicorn meat, which was fed pure angels from the gods. Like this shit, when you eat it, you might like bust your pants right there.
Oiled by the tears of Zeus.
Yeah, that's and that's the thing. And so sometimes fan service becomes folks become slavish to it instead of a well thought out, well executed narrative, and things suffer for it. And then everyone points the finger afterwards when they go, "Oh, why did that suck?"
Like,
because everybody sat there and complained. It's kind of your fault. Everybody complained.
Your fault. You wanted this. This is what you got. Now we all hate it. Thank you.
Now we all hate it. Thank you. And it gets canceled.
And you ruined everything.
You look at Grey's Anatomy, you look at Law and Order, they are formats that just lend to real life changeover. You know, oh, here's a new police officer. Here's a new detective who just came to the precinct. Oh, here are new interns who just graduated, you know, newbies who just graduated from the academy or med school. It's kind of hard to say, oh my God, look, here's a new drug dealer from, you know, who just dropped out of high school and he's the new kingpin.
Hey.
Fuck you. Like, really? It doesn't, we can't do 15 seasons of that.
Oh my God.
No. The Wire wouldn't have lasted as long as it did if it went that route.
Yeah.
No, hell no. Hell no. Folks would have sniffed that out and said, David Simon, we love you, but fuck you. But what's the Curb Your Enthusiasm? If I could walk on Curb Your Enthusiasm right now, I think Larry David is fucking brilliant. I think he's a comic genius. I think if anybody's pulling Mel Brooks type writing and show construction today, I would say it's him. And one of the brilliant things I love about his show is, you know, he's like, you know, obviously everybody's seen Curb Your Enthusiasm. He's the ultimate misanthrope, you know, curmudgeonly old bastard. But he didn't do what I think a lot of shows would have done, which is, I'm still okay. There would have been some sense of ego in that equation that as the lead, as Larry, I would have still been okay. Instead of at the end of every episode, he's the dickweed that did some ignorant shit and somebody lost their job or somebody's marriage was, you know, like destroyed or what have you. There would have always been this saving, coming out on top, smelling like a rose instead of, wow, Larry, you are really fucking awful. You are like the worst motherfucker ever. And yet I can't stop watching you every week because of that. So, you know, just being around that. And I know some people who've done the show and they're like, it's so much fun. It's so much fun. And there doesn't seem to be a pretentiousness with Larry. Man, look, when you get into Hollywood or in any industry, you know, you start to realize I want to like the people I work with. I because you conceivably could be around them for years if it's a television show and you cook it right, you do some Marvel shit, 10 years. You know, can you imagine if everybody on the whole Marvel stable, Chris Hemsworth, Robert Downey Jr., you know, they all hated each other. Like, I fucking hate this dude. And yet I'm jumping into every one of his movies and he's jumping into mine.
That would be
rough. You know, that would be super rough. And they're all professionals. They would be great. But there's only so many Dirty Dancing situations that you can have where the two leads hate each other, but you never know it. That can only happen so many times especially in this social media age. Folks are gonna sniff it out.
It's true.
Yes.
This whole shit that's going on with Don't Worry, Darling. You know, it's just an example. Whether or not it really happened, the legend has become fact. That old Bagger Vance phrase. Not Bagger Vance. The Legend of fucking Bagger Vance. What was the Western? Liberty Valance,
yeah.
the legend of Liberty Valance, and they have a phrase in there where they fucking bagger man.
That's something I totally would have said.
Matt Damon, Will Smith. I'm like, wow, that's getting deep here.
Look, I'm that guy that if I ever went on Family Feud with you, it's a 50-50 with you. I'm gonna make the blooper reel on YouTube,
Right.
where it's like,
That's us too.
that's what you fucking said. That's what came to your brain.
It's always about the bloopers anyway.
Yeah, my wife still teases me. We were playing like not Pictionary, but kind of like charades with a bunch of friends. It was a game night, and I started acting it out. And I go, they couldn't get it, and I go, God's boys. And they go, what? And I went, it was apostles. And they were like, are you fucking kidding me? God's boys? I was like, this is what came to my brain.
Come on.
I would have never gotten that.
The homies.
Never gotten that.
Come on, you know.
The homies.
You know.
I'm not getting invited back.
Kicked out of game night.
Oh, it's funny.
Yeah, Jackie, you can come. Your husband.
He has to sit out of this one, okay?
Yeah, bring a seat filler. Bring somebody who can sit out.
And you went to school for acting at Penn State, no less, where lots of good actors have graduated from. But before that, you
I
played
did.
football at Howard University, another great school. What position did you play?
HU, you know.
No.
I was a strong safety.
Strong safety. Wow.
I was strong safety. I was much bigger. I was about, 205, pushing 210 sort of deal.
Safety
I was
weight.
big. Yeah, fly up and hit them, man. Free flow to the ball.
Yeah.
So it was a wonderful time. We won a national championship in '96. Still love those guys. I actually just caught up with some of them the other day. One of them is the offensive coordinator for the Houston Texans.
Oh, cool.
Pep Hamilton, him and Ted White, those were my quarterbacks when I came into school. So
How cool
going
is
against
that?
them, every day in 1-on-1s and 7-on-7, talking shit all day long, and those dudes are from the South. Like, I mean, football players are athletes. They talk shit, but it's like I don't know if it's in the water, but the further south you go, the more shit you talk. If you are not talking cash shit by the time you hit Louisiana, that's where a lot of them are from. They're from like Louisiana or Florida. And then, like we were saying before, you ain't doing it right. You're not about that life.
Yeah.
You get down to the southeast, that's where you
It's a true
really doing the
statement.
chirping, yeah.
You got to. That whole, man, don't say anything about his mother. Fuck that shit. Put your mama in too.
Yes,
We're going to throw your
exactly.
mama in there and everything because the blade is sharpened against steel, sharpened against another more steel or whatever. You gotta bring that heat because I gotta know that come Sunday or in college Saturday,
Right.
when we go out there and that guy is 250, 260 and he's barreling down on me, you're going to pick up that block.
Yeah.
That you're not going to wilt under that kind of pressure. Whether or not he trucks you, hey, you stuck your nose in there. You showed heart, and you had my back and I have yours, which is a really painful way to make friendships. Men have really painful ways
True.
to form bonds.
It's true.
But those are
Women
close
are-
bonds.
Close bonds, like the close bonds, like that's my brother. How? Man, they were shooting at us. They were shooting at us and beating us down. That is my brother.
I was going to say, it takes the post-traumatic stress disorder, the 8 syllables in order to get that
You're
kind of
really
bond.
family. Yeah.
That takes at least
Totally.
8-10 syllables.
At least. Otherwise, I don't know if I can trust you.
Yeah. Well, the
I don't know.
NFL season just started. Who do you like this year?
Eagles, baby.
Eagles.
I'm-
I thought that was the
I'm an
case.
Eagles fan.
Now, I've seen you that you support the LA teams when it comes to the baseball and basketball, but you're a Birdman when it comes to football. This is true?
I am.
Oh,
I am.
boy,
It is.
Blake.
Blair and I are from Dallas. This is all friendly until now.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm
We were
sorry.
just talking about talking shit. I mean, here we go. Philly Cowboys.
Here we go.
What do you
Here we
want to
go.
hear? I
My-
mean,
My mother's a Dallas fan. I give it to her every Sunday.
yes, as you
Your
should.
mom's a Dallas fan and you're an Eagle? What kind of son are you? This is awful.
Look,
Poor
you know what?
mother.
I used to. And here's real talk. I used to not to like the Cowboys, but first of all, if you wanted to eat in the household, you didn't say shit about the Cowboys.
Shut the fuck
Troy
up.
Aikman is her man. Troy Aikman and Emmett, those are her men.
God, I
So
love
you
your
were
mom.
like, oh, Troy had a great game this week. Oh my God, Emmett ran for 200 yards.
Eating
Oh, you
good
see the holes he
tonight.
had? He could have been in a fucking wheelchair and made through those holes, man. But no, I'm from Virginia. She's from Shreveport, Louisiana, actually.
Yeah.
So she's a Dallas fan and a Saints fan.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah, that makes
Shreveport
sense.
is
I
far
like that.
enough. I'm in Virginia, and all we had was, at that time, it was the Redskins. You can't say that anymore.
Can't
But,
even
you know,
say
the
that anymore.
Commanders.
Here we are,
That's
the
Washington
Cowboys
for
and
you.
Eagles going, at least we're not Washington.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Right. But I like Dak. I like Zeke. I like Dak. And it's really, for me, like, if you really ask me, which you are, and even if you're not, I'm going to fucking tell you. I have such a just confusion with Dallas fans that no matter how the team does during the year, they're always Super Bowl bound. Like, always Super Bowl bound. And I don't mean like loving your team and going rah rah, but Bengals fans fucking know they're not going to the fucking Super Bowl. They know that. Okay, you might win a game here or two, but that's just not where we are.
It's funny you mentioned that. I was just about to say,
year.
I really think this is our year. Now, I said that last year, but let me break this
Classic
down.
Cowboys thing
Really
to
think
say.
this is our year. I mean,
This
if you
is
break
our
it
year,
down.
of course.
I think it's just Cowboys have all the hope and just like that we'll get back to our heyday.
Well, there
you
was
know?
a time where it felt like we made the Super Bowl every year.
Yo, dominating offense, punishing defense for years. And I'm even in sports, like you said, I'm an LA guy. So oddly enough, from Virginia, I've always been a diehard Lakers fan. I grew up, Magic was posters all over my wall.
Yeah.
Cried when he announced he had HIV. Like, I was fucked up about it.
Right.
But you look at the state of the Lakers right now, a team is built, or a dynastic team is built organically from within. You can't buy that shit. There's something to be said about, if you cook it right, your business individually, because, you know, each player is an individual business unto themselves, right? They got to pay taxes in every state they play in and whatever. So, okay, I'm going to make money off of something else. Endorsements, I have a shoe, I have a TV show, whatever. The money you want to pay me as a player, put that shit into the team. Jordan did it.
Yep.
Tom Brady did it. And look, dynastic teams. If that's what you say you're really about, if you want to get rings, because I'm a big believer that the rings bring the money, because winning brings money.
Does.
There were a lot of people who got paid a whole lot of money and nobody gave a shit about their team. Nobody watched. Nobody came. Nobody showed up. It's rare that you get a packed stadium in Cleveland with a losing record. You know, that's not every sort of franchise. So, yeah, you guys just gotta stop being greedy and figure out your money right if you really want to win, because everybody is winning when we get a championship.
Yeah.
Yes.
People you've never fucking heard of. Like, dude, you weren't even on the bench. You were the dude holding up the bench and you got a ring. And next thing you know, you're $10 million richer. Like, isn't that just smarter business? But hey, man, I just work here. I don't know nothing, man. I don't know the team.
I don't know.
I'm out here rooting like the rest of it.
Well, speaking of winning, there's some wild speculation that the Eagles are going to win the NFC East this year. You don't buy into these crazy conspiracies, do you?
It's not speculation. It's time travel, because time travel is real. Time travel is real. Marty McFly is a real person. He went to the future. He came back and he told us the Eagles win the fucking NFC East this year.
I smell a jersey bet.
Hand down.
I smell a jersey bet.
Here for it.
I think we need to see you post a pic on your gram with a Cowboys jersey on. It'd make your mother proud anyway.
You know she'd like it.
Oh, okay.
Would that just kill me to do this?
We'll do it too. We'll do the
We'll
exact
do
same
it.
thing. And this is 3-1. So we'll have 3 Eagles jerseys on. Got to do it.
Ooh,
That's if they win. If the Washington whatever or the Giants win.
that's
no
a
dice.
tough one.
I'm in for that bet.
No, okay.
I'm in for that bet.
I mean, if he's
I'm
in,
in
we're
for that bet.
in.
That's a bet.
For Jarvis.
And-
Only
and
for
normally-
Jarvis.
Oh yeah, exactly. Only for you guys. Only for you guys, because
Yeah.
Thank you.
Crunch
First of
bet
all-
only.
my skin is delicate. I ain't putting no cowboy paraphernalia on this shit.
I get
but-
it. If we weren't from Dallas, I would hate it just
It
like
would look
everyone
good
else.
on you, just
All the
saying.
bandwagon fans were so obnoxious.
Just
It's awful.
just a big star. Just a big star for no reason. What is this? Walk of Fame?
Oh,
What is this? America's Got Talent? This is a big fucking star.
It's so symmetrical. It looks so good.
Yeah.
The stars.
Symmetry is great on
Symbol of
The
power.
symmetry is great. And but the other reason I normally wouldn't make that bet is less about the Cowboys and it's more about I am a shitty better. I'm shitty.
That means
Shitty.
good things for
Shitty.
the Cowboys.
Right. I might be hooking y'all up. My wife is like, you are too emotional. You like narratives. You like stories. I'm like, I'm an actor. And she's like, yeah. Betting is not about that shit. Betting is about facts and,
Yeah.
and
Research.
and research and statistics. And you're the one who's like, he's an underdog. He's due.
Yes, I'm so the same as Jarvis. Tyler would be
Yeah,
the same as
she-
you. I'd be like, no.
Oh my God. She's like, you better not bet kids' college fund because you'll fuck it up. You're that dude. You're the dude who goes to Vegas and keeps asking for a marker because you're due. So typically I don't bet. So,
No,
but a
I
jersey,
don't either.
put a jersey on the gram, shouting out whoever wins the NFC East Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
I like
And,
this. This is good.
And then shouting you guys out. It's good love, man. It's good
Yeah.
love.
Exactly.
luck. I'm
We
on
look forward to
board.
doing the same. I want us holding up a sign saying we lost a jersey bet to Ed Jarvis George.
Yeah.
Yes.
When you said a jersey bet, I went into my brain and was like, what does that mean? What is a jersey bet?
Who is it?
I gotta
What
do
are we
it.
doing?
Is this some weird
I
New
just-
Jersey trend I don't know about? Some weird TikTok challenge?
Are we going
Listen.
to Jersey? What are we going?
Listen, I play fantasy football and I have seen some shit people had to do when they lose their league.
Yeah.
And that's why I was like, is that it? Is that like, I gotta
Take
stand
your
on the
jersey.
street corner, right? Like selling hot lemonade and,
Nothing but your jersey.
and nothing but your jersey. Or
Yes.
I saw one where these guys made their friend do a pinup calendar, a 12-month, and he had to do all these really ugly,
that's
sexy
good.
poses.
So good.
That's good. Yeah, we take
Why
our
didn't we
fantasy
think of
league
that?
seriously too. That's good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I'll remember that. I'm the commissioner.
right. Hardcore, totally hardcore.
Well, before we let you go, what have you been working on lately? Any new and exciting projects coming up?
Yeah, actually, not as an actor, but as a producer and a writer.
Nice.
My brother Jason is on Station 19, the Shonda Rhimes
Yeah.
show on ABC. He's been in the Shonda Rhimes camp for years, and he and I said, "Hey, man, we're not that dumb. We can make a show. We can make some shit." So we're actually producing projects. We actually have
Good
a
for
couple of
you.
series and some movies that we're producing and shop around town right now. And I have a phrase, and it might not be the best phrase, but the shit works for me. Is I always say there are a lot dumber people than me that did it.
Man, I
you
say
know.
that all the time.
Right?
That like
It's-
bounces around in my brain a few times a day. Like that's
All the
so funny
time,
you say
all
that.
the time. I actually said it to my wife when she was pregnant. In the moments when we would freak out about having a kid, and I said, "Look, a lot of dumber motherfuckers than us did it."
Yeah,
So
we can do this. Oh, Jarvis, that's exciting.
yeah, thank you. It is exciting. It's exciting, and it is hold your ass scared shitless
Yeah.
all at once. But that's the
part of the
that's
fun.
why that's part of the fun.
No risk.
One
no
of my
reward.
favorite, right? One of my favorite quotes is from Three Kings. You guys ever see Three Kings with George Clooney?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a while, but I do remember
Ice
that.
Cube.
been a
yeah.
while.
Oh yeah.
With Cube and Spike Jones and Cliff Curtis. He's another actor that I'm really taken with. He was the older or like kind of the elder, not elder statesman, but in the Iraqi town. He played Smiley in Training Day.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh, he's so
He's a-
good.
Yes.
He's a Maori New Zealand actor who he's done
He's got
British,
some wild range. This guy,
you Cholo Mexican.
Yeah.
He's done Iraqi. Like he's gonna be. I think he did a movie where he was black too, where he was like a light skinned black dude. Like he's fucking a beast.
Man. Yeah, he's a beast.
Talent wise, yes, but he has the look that you go, I buy it. Yeah, Christian Bale being on The Wire, I don't know, man. He ain't being Marlowe's new crew. That's just not gonna. That's really not gonna work out.
It's not gonna work out.
That's not gonna work out. But so the quote in the movie is Spike Jonze gets shot, right? And long story short, they get shot. They're doing this thing in this town. They end up they're soldiers, and they're there to steal some gold at the end of the first Iraq War from one of Saddam's vaults. And the vault is under this town in the middle of nowhere. And they end up having to become the heroes that they weren't in the actual war. In the actual war, it happened so quick and everything was Scud missiles. They were just like, oh, fuck, we didn't do anything. They heard a story about some gold. They go to steal gold. But there are Iraqi soldiers there, real deal Iraqi soldiers. And they're like, oh, shit, and they got to be these heroes. And Spike Jonze tells, ends up getting shot in a firefight. And he's, they're in a room, and he's really freaking out because he's been shot, and he's like, war is real. It wasn't a video game. I'm fucking shot and I'm dying. And he says, I'm scared, man. And he's embarrassed that he's afraid. And George Clooney is like, what are you talking about? And he's like, I want to be like you, man. I want to be him and Mark Wahlberg. He's like, I want to be a hero. I want to be courageous. And the heroes are not afraid. And they, are you kidding? I'm scared shitless. You do the thing that you're scared shitless of, and you get courage afterwards.
Yeah.
And I was blown away. And I know that phrase, obviously through human history, has taken on many forms. You can read it in any philosophical book, any religious text. But as a young kid, who's watching a movie thinking he's going to see Ice Cube rip some shit, and then see this movie that's impacting him, that told him, go out in the world and really contemplate doing the thing that scares you the most, because that's the thing you need to do. You need to cross that barrier of fire, because that's the only way you actually gain confidence. That's the only way you gain your principle, and your integrity is formed. It's not just, I'm nothing scares me. You're a liar. You're either a liar or you're psychotic.
Yeah.
It's true. No, real growth comes from the other side. You're right.
100% agree with that.
100. And then you'll always get scared, but I can manage it. I can figure it out, and all of that said, back to the producing thing and moving projects around town is when you get scared or you get a little nervous, a little tense, you're like, I can do this. Take a couple deep breaths. Remember that they're probably scared shitless too, because their kids are in private school and they got bills to pay and they got to appease somebody else. So we're all human beings trying to do some quality.
Yeah.
Let's do that. It usually works out well, man.
Man, well said. We can't thank you enough for joining us, Jarvis. We really appreciate your time.
So much fun.
Man, I love it, man.
We got to keep in touch too, because one, I want to stay following these projects that you're on, and two, we got our Jersey bed going. So
we have a lot going on.
We have a lot going on.
We got a lot going on.
We definitely ain't crunch down.
You invited Blair out to Hollywood. She's already packed her bags.
I'm not forgetting.
It's going to be play dates. It's going to be play dates.
Yes.
You're coming over to the barbecue next weekend.
We're all coming.
That's what's happening, man. Look, we'll follow each other, obviously on all the social, on Al Gore's internet, on the socials,
Socials.
I think I'm at JWG Actor on both Twitter and Instagram.
Okay, good.
I'm not into TikTok yet because I'm lazy. So I always feel like Man, I'm not doing a video. I'm not doing a video. I'm not just jumping up and just
Same.
doing a video.
I'm not doing
That's
it.
that's a
I'm not
lot.
doing it.
Not doing it.
Or I'm going to see you
I'm
pop
not.
up and be like, there's Jarvis.
There he
Did.
is.
He did.
There
Oh,
he
yeah.
is. He's doing
Yeah,
it.
and you'll see me doing from AP Bio. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Stanky
Perfect.
Steph. How are you? Ooh, baby, I sing it.
That would get so many TikTok views.
Oh,
Yeah,
it
would.
really
Yeah.
would.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would smash.
That's another reason we had so much fun. Is like I said, I can't sing, so I was like, yeah, I'm going for it because I know I can't sing. That's the joke.
Funny scene. Well, thank you again, Jarvis. Really do appreciate the time. Look forward to talking again soon.
You're most welcome, guys. Thank you so much,
thank you.
man.
Thanks, sir.
Have a good
Thank
weekend.
Have a good weekend, guys.
You. You
Take
too.
care.
Bye.
Peace.
Wow, he's really cool.
How
Good,
fun
dude.
Wow.
is Jarvis?
So cool.
Could have talked to him for another hour.
Yeah, good dude. He's an Eagles fan. It got all nasty. National Geographic there.
Tensions went high.
Hot news. New dream car giveaway over at 8080. In addition to the 15% off you get for using code CRUNCHY, they're offering 5 times the entries right now, all for a brand new Lamborghini plus $60,000 in cash. You do not want to miss out. Nor do you want to forget to check out SomethingCrunchy.com, where you'll find every episode of links for social media, and the Almighty Crunch Store, where you'll find all kinds of crunchy gear showing that you are a proud citizen of Crunch Nation. Then there's the Something Crunchy Facebook group, where the memes flow like wine and the women instinctively flock like the salmon of the Capistrano. This has been another episode of Something Crunchy, and as always, don't ever forget to live your crunchiest life.
And be crunchy to one another.
Please don't forget to subscribe, like, follow, and all that crunchy good shit. Thank you for listening.
You know, there's a great clip from a movie with Robert De Niro with Analyze This. It was an outtake. The outtakes, yeah, and you could tell he was fed up. He was supposed to be mimicking jerking off, and you could tell he just was like, "This is take 15. I don't even do this in my real life. Like, I'm done by now. How the fuck am I doing this over and over again?
I don't need 15 takes for that.
I don't need 15 takes. I'm good. I'm good with one." But that's how I feel like that experience would be like on a Curb Your Enthusiasm